Good afternoon from the Eyewitness News Weather Center. I'm Meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Thank you for choosing ABC7NY for your weather information. And this is a storm update as we get you ready for a pretty messy storm coming up on Tuesday that'll certainly slow down travel across the area, get progressively worse through the day tomorrow. Icing is a big concern with this storm, and there's even a concern as we go into Wednesday of some big-time winds after the storm as well. All right, let's take a deep dive into this storm. First of all, your storm headlines. Now, the snow is going to develop toward dawn, and that timing is really based on New York City. Across parts of New Jersey, there's even some light snow and snow showers can get in here late tonight, so we'll look at that on the Futurecast. But for the entire area, the steadiest snow with this storm is going to happen tomorrow morning, because then what happens is the atmosphere gets compromised, and that's what we would say in meteorology, and that we can't support snow because of warm layers getting into the atmosphere, and we go over to this sleet, freezing rain, and rain as we go through the afternoon hours. But our concern is the stubbornness of the cold air at the ground and the prolonged icing that we can have off to the north and west. Now, it will go to rain city and coast, but it will remain ice north and west, and that'll go deep into tomorrow night before ending after midnight. I think an ending time probably around the 3 a.m. time on Wednesday is probably the idea. Now, in terms of your weather maps, now there's a winter weather advisory, and there are winter storm watches off to the north and west. So the winter weather advisories just give you an idea. Snow totals are not going to be huge with the storm because there's only a small window to support the snow. We can certainly get several inches of snow, but the bigger concern will just be the messiness of this storm and the iciness. Now, off to the north and west, it is a winter storm watch in Sussex and Pike and Ulster County, also into Orange County. So you're seeing that, a winter storm watch there, because we could get some totals there that go over 6 inches. So they're debating in the Weather Service whether to go advisories and warnings. So, Chuck, is it okay to come back and point to some of these maps of the walks? I just want to get into some of the. Thank you very much. All right, so I want to show you what's going on, first of all. Our satellite pictures, we've watched some snow that departed much of southern New Jersey this morning, put down a coating to 1 inch or 2 to the south, places like Seaside Heights. But we've had several inches of snow across extreme southern New Jersey and into northern Maryland. I mean, some of the reports just north of Baltimore are about 4 inches of snow. So it continues to snow in these areas. If you or friends or loved ones are traveling down to the south, it's a totally different world in southernmost New Jersey with snow going on, yet the clouds are thin from the city on north, and there's even a little bit of filtered sunshine breaking through. So we've got this low now that's beginning to pull offshore, so it's doing a couple things. It's taking the precipitation with it, but at the same time, it's also pulling in some cold air, fresh cold air that's sitting over eastern Canada with this cold high. So that's not great news. That's a bad position for a high to be in, as it will wedge in a lot of the cold air over us. So even when a lot of warm air is coming in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, the cold air is staying at the ground, and that's where you get that icing as we go through the midday and afternoon hours. So this is our big storm. It's over the deep south right now, and it's going to take a storm track that's going to cut through the Ohio Valley and into the Great Lakes. Now, typically with a storm track like that, you're going to start getting easterly winds off the Atlantic. You know, the Atlantic's still very cold this time of year. It's in the middle 30s. So, yes, we're eventually going to get everything to change over to rain, but it's going to be a slow process, especially where as this cuts off to the north and west, there is another little low that may try to form off the Jersey shore. So that may try to keep in the cold air, especially north of New York City as we go through the day tomorrow. Now, we're looking to the south here, and you can see a thick bank of clouds, yet it looks brighter over New York City. The ceiling's a little higher. Just to give you an idea, you have that snow band over southernmost New Jersey. So we're at 36, and you're saying, well, that's not bad. We're above freezing now. But remember, that fresh cold air is coming in the wake of that low that's going offshore now. So we go below freezing area-wide tonight. Here are our temperatures right now. It's 31 in Monticello, but look at temperatures over upstate New York, below freezing here. And that's the air that's coming in on a northeast wind tonight. During the day tomorrow, the winds shift more easterly, and we start to get the marine influence into play. So here's a planner, and you see how we're just cloudy overnight. And an early part, if you have to drive, if you have to travel tomorrow, if you have to commute tomorrow, an early departure will serve you well, because you can beat some of the snow, especially over the island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Hudson Valley. You know, you leave in the pre-dawn hours versus waiting to the heart of the commute after 6 or 7 o'clock. Conditions will really be a lot different. Now, over parts of New Jersey, if I showed a planner, for instance, so let's say a Morristown or a Newark, you'd see snow coming in here earlier in the pre-dawn hours. So conditions are going to be slippery on I-80 and I-78 and the Garden State Parkway, and all of our New Jersey roads are going to start to get snowy as we go through the pre-dawn hours. So let's get right into a Futurecast. So we're dry overnight here, But remember that band off to the south that was still snowing in Baltimore and just north of Cape May and near Atlantic City? Well, that may start to creep northward at times overnight. So some snow showers may get into western New Jersey, may get into southern New Jersey, and already make for some slippery conditions during the overnight. And then what will happen is that eastern edge is just going to keep trying to fight the dry air that's in place here. That's why it may wait till just around daybreak in New York City, but we may be snowing for a few hours leading up to daybreak over parts of New Jersey and accumulating. So the worst commute early on will be coming in from the south and west. Then that snow will overspread the area and we'll have a window. Listen, and again, even over that, I just showed a clip here from 6 in the morning to 9:30 in the morning. And even then, the eastern edge of the snow is still fighting to beat the dry air over eastern Long Island and Connecticut and the Hudson Valley. So that's why the snow totals aren't going to be huge in these spots, because the window for snow is going to be small, maybe 3 to 5 hours, but it doesn't get started until mid or late morning here north and east. That's why I say an early start, especially from these areas, will serve you well beating out the snow. So already at this time, by mid-morning, we've started to mix over to sleet and even some rain over parts of southern Ocean County. And then that mix line will make slow progress. So I think by lunchtime, we're going over to sleet in New York City. Maybe a case where it's still snowing in the Bronx, but there's sleet over parts of Staten Island and over central New Jersey. We're still snowing north and east of New York City, and some of these darker shades would indicate that we're snowing at pretty good rates here and stacking up the snow. Then as we go through the afternoon hours, the only places that are going to remain snow, Sullivan, Ulster, Dutchess counties, north of the I-84 corridor. Even in the Poconos, we're getting into some sleet and freezing rain. So now what you'll notice is that this pink area just lasts for hours and hours. And we're talking about northwest New Jersey and into the Hudson Valley. That's where we can have extended periods of sleet and freezing rain, and we can really get icy conditions. Once we're in the late afternoon and early evening, in and around New York City, Long Island, down the shore, even the nearby northwest suburbs, we're just over to plain rain. There's a lot of standing water and travel's very difficult, but it's not the same type of ice that can be accreting north and west, where we can talk about power outages as the ice collects on power lines and tree limbs. Even in the wee hours of the morning on Wednesday, we've still got some leftover precipitation, rain and still icing off to the north and west, the freezing rain well north and west, and then things are winding down in the pre-dawn hours on Wednesday. So pretty long event. And obviously very complex in terms of the precipitation type. And depending on where you are, travel conditions can vary greatly. So let's just start out with the snow, and then I'll go over to the ice, and then we'll wrap things up. In terms of the snow accumulation off the top, because we're getting that initial surge of snow that probably does get into parts of New Jersey here, I have the 3 to 6 inch band into parts of northern New Jersey, into the Hudson Valley, up to the Catskills, and we may lean toward the lower range on this just because of the short window for snow, but there may be some higher totals once we go well north and west. I have much of southern New Jersey, New York City, the nearby northwest suburbs, coastal Connecticut, Long Island, into 1 to 3 inch total. Especially east of the city. We could struggle to stack up the snowfall if it has a tough time coming in and it doesn't come in gangbusters. We're only going to have until late morning or midday with snow before it changes over. And, there's a possibility that this contour, this 3 inch line, could be bent a little bit more north-south here if the snow takes a while to come in. But basically your idea is a 1 to 3 inch along the coast, so 3 to 6 inches in the interior. Now in terms of the freezing line, you can see, here we are right now. I'm just going to take you through the overnight. We all go below freezing, okay? And then this is even showing that temperatures aren't too far, maybe 32, 33 in New York City, on Long Island. North and west here, we're staying below freezing. We're continuing to fight well into tomorrow night to try to get above freezing. So this is a many hours here where we can see some freezing rain or sleet. And even in the wee hours of the morning on Wednesday, we've never gone above freezing in the parts of the Catskills and the Poconos. So if you look at this more pink or fuchsia shade area here over northwest New Jersey, places like Sussex and Morristown and Randolph and Tuxedo and let's say Haverstraw, and over to maybe Bedford and Cross River, over to Danbury, Fishkill, Goshen, up to Fallsburg, Shandaken. All these areas here could have significant icing and potentially some power outages as we go into the day on Wednesday. So that is a huge story with the storm. All right, so here's your 7-day. We'll give you an early preview on this. It's still fluid. I'm working on the timing and tweaks for Eyewitness News First at 4. But obviously, we have an AccuWeather alert day for tomorrow for the snow and ice going over to rain. On Wednesday, I don't have an AccuWeather alert date, but these gusts on Wednesday could go 35, 40 miles an hour. And if things are still iced over from Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, and some tree limbs that haven't fallen yet, if we have all these gusty winds and everything's iced over, I think we could enhance some of the power outage potential even in the day on Wednesday. So something to consider there. We are getting sunny and we are warming up. But, as things thaw out, we get those gusty winds. There could be some damage there. Valentine's Day, nice, breezy and milder. We're in the mid and upper 40s that day. On Friday, we're clouding over. I think late in the day and at night, some rain is moving in. That rain extends into your Saturday morning. I think the rain will end by Saturday afternoon. Clearing is still in question. If we can get some clearing, we might be able to get above that 50-degree mark. But, when you talk about these temperatures here Wednesday into the weekend, pretty easy to take. It does get a lot colder behind that system on Sunday and Monday. But again, by early to mid-February standards, not all that bad. All right, so that's the way we're shaping up. Again, AccuWeather alert for tomorrow. The snow coming in overnight across parts of New Jersey and toward daybreak in New York City and during the morning hours north and east of New York City. Updates throughout the afternoon and evening on ABC7 NY. We'll do a Facebook Live as well on my Facebook page. And, of course, complete coverage on Eyewitness News at 4, 5, 6, and 11. Please take it safe tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be some school delays and probably more cancellations in advance of this storm, even though it may not be snowing when the bus comes for your student tomorrow morning, north and east. I think they'll probably heed the warnings and the advisories across the area, and I think there'll be widespread cancellations, especially with the idea that this could be a big ice storm off to the north and west. So we prepare for that. But if you do have to go to work, try to get an early start tomorrow morning and be super, super careful, and we'll take you through it every step of the way. Thanks again, as always, for clicking on ABC7 NY for your AccuWeather forecast. Have a great afternoon.